All right, so welcome everyone. Okay, first of all, I would like to thanks for joining us today. So, actually, I'm Noliana, one of the librarian in AeU Knowledge Centre. So, for today's training, we have a special trainer, Miss Kurinji Malar from ProQuest Training Specialist. So, in this training, she will give us like a brief about the ProQuest Education Collection, Arts and Humanity Database, Computer Science Database, and ProQuest Dissertation. So, actually, all these database that I mentioned are available to access in our library gateway. So, if you have a problem to access the library gateway, let me know. All right, so without further ado, let me invite Ms. Kurunji to start the training. So let's say if you have any question to ask, feel free to drop your message in the chat panel. All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lena. Thanks for starting this off. Okay, so everyone, welcome for this webinar session. I think some of you might have attended the session the last week when we had a session on ProQuest One Business. And today's session is more focused on the other databases, which I'm going to share with you what are those databases. And I think Liana has mentioned it earlier as well. And again, let me just give you a very brief introduction about myself. My name is Kurinji Malar, and I'm the training and consulting partner with ProQuest. I'm currently based in Malaysia. Prior joining to ProQuest, I was with the information service industry, mainly serving the legal industry, working with law faculties and etc. So today I'm going to take you through the other four platforms and see how this database or the content that you have within this collection is going to support you through your research journey. Yeah? Let's move on. So our objective for today. Okay, so first thing is to discover and understand the right use of variety of content type that you have in this collection. This collections is either from the dissertation and thesis, or is from your computer science database, or is it from your education collection database, or it's also from the social science database. So let's look at it more in depth later. And also today the focus is more on the searching techniques, because you know that knowing the content alone is not enough. You must know how to extract or how to find the right information from this platform. So that's what I'm going to focus in this session. And last part is how you can evaluate, organize those information so that you can use it to cite it into your research or even into your assignments, however you want to use those information later. Okay, so those are the three main things that we're going to achieve towards the end of the session. Okay, I'm going to skip on the outline. Let me just give you a brief introduction about ProQuest as well. So ProQuest is a key partner for all content holders of all types, preserving and enabling to a rich and varied content information or varied information. So ProQuest basically offers aggregated and provides extensive supplementary resources to complement some of the core materials to multidisciplinary sources, multidisciplinary courses as well. And having access to all this content, it allows a virtual research of any topic from multiple perspectives and across multiple formats. So when I talk about the format, we are talking about content, across content like from scholarly journals to dissertation and theses to trade journals to newspapers to working papers to conference papers and etc. Okay, so what you will find in most of this collection that we're going to talk about today is you will have access to your scholarly journals, some ebooks, dissertation and theses, newspapers or wire feeds, magazines, trade journals. We talk about conference papers and working papers and some multimedia content as well. Yeah. So let's move on. So like I said, today there are about four database or four collections that I'm going to talk about. But the concept of the search or the search techniques is exactly the same across the platform, because all these platforms are sitting on the platform called ProQuest Platform. It is actually a same ProQuest platform. It is just that it caters to the different type of content accordingly to the subjects. Yeah. So we have covered on the ProQuest One Business last week. So today we're going to focus more on ProQuest Dissertation and Thesis. where the content is more relevant to the humanities and social science collection. And the next one is the arts and humanities database. So all the collections are relevant to art and humanities. And of course, education database that's relevant to education and computer science as well. So let's move on. I'll give you a few examples how you can utilize this content in a minute. Okay, this is just an example, or this is usually I share it most of the users to show that this survey was done in year 2018, just to understand the impact of using wide variety of content in research and teaching. So when we did the survey, the respondents from either from research background or from teaching background, they responded actually yes, they use wide variety of content that you can see in this screen. They actually use scholarly journals along with the print books in the past, and dissertation and theses, and books in electronic formats, conference proceeding papers, and etc. for research. And for teaching, there are more. It's quite similar here, but they are using case studies as well, some video content to support their teaching. Yeah? So ProQuest, in ProQuest platform, you can find most of this content that's mentioned here. So now the next question is how is this use of this varied content type supports or it's essential for student success? So most of the faculty respondent, they have responded here. You can see the percentage here. They've responded yes, it's important for the users or for the students to understand the concepts and the ideas more holistically. And with that, they are able to conduct more thorough literature review because you have multiple viewpoints from different types of content or the multi-formatted content. And that will help them to produce better assignments. Having produced a better assignments, they will achieve a better grade in their course. So these are all the feedback or the response from the faculty members. Okay, now then we did ask the library team, okay, is it essential to have content beyond the traditional journals? Yes, 94% of them agreed, and also agreed unifying the content access through one single platform is also important, yeah? Okay, so we know that academic research is changing right now, so it's no longer solely depend on the traditional journals like scholarly journals alone, but it's also looking at other materials like supporting materials, alternative materials, where we call that as a grey literatures as well, such as like the dissertation and theses, ProQuest, conference papers, and as well as the working papers as well. Yeah, so we're going to look at that shortly. So now, because it's a multiple content type, different type of content sitting on the same platform, so the search techniques apply the same across all those platforms. So let's start with the searching. So once you know how to search it, whether it's social science database, whether it's business database, whether it's computer science database, you will know how to utilize those content within that platform. So let's begin with the literature searching tips. So these tips I usually share with users. So first thing, you also must know where to find your resources. Number one, when you want to come up with a topic, you want to start your research, you must make sure that you have enough materials to support your research. Yeah? So before even thinking too deep into your research, make sure that you have done kind of a background research on whether you have enough materials to cover to support your research topic. So after that, once you know where to go for it, let me take you through your library portal. Just a minute. So most of you would have been familiar with this. So at your library gateway, so you, as long as you've signed in with your given credentials, so you will come to this page where you will see there's an online database. So once you go into that online database, so to look for ProQuest information, you just type in ProQuest here. Yeah, can you see that? Okay. Can you see my screen that shows ProQuest? So once you type in ProQuest database, you see all the collections from ProQuest you are able to access. So you have the ebook center, which is the ebook collection. And this is what we are going to look at today, the journal. It is not only journal, but you have more than journal within this collection. So you can see that's computer science database, which we're going to look at later. The journals for ProQuest Arts and Humanities, we're going to look at that later. Journal for Education Collections as well, we're going to see that later. The ABI, we already covered under the ProQuest One business. Eric will be part of Education's collection. And one business we have covered. Here you go, the Dissertation and Thesis Global, specifically for the Humanities and Social Science collection. So this is slightly different. This is only the collections, what you find within this, database or this collection is the dissertation and thesis by actual dissertation and thesis by the graduate works across the world in the topics that are relevant to the humanities and social science. Yeah, so that's what we're going to see later. So all this database, because they're all sitting on the ProQuest platform, so that means the search techniques are the same. You just apply the same technique, except for the books. Books are ebooks on the ebook platform, so it's slightly different. Okay, now once you are here, it's much more easier. So basically, you just have to click on this link, and it will take you to the platform or to the research database that you just want to explore. Okay, so that's how you access it. So now I think you also see there's a link to the library gateway. I'm sure you already have your credentials. I think the moment you enter your credentials, you go into your online database, look up for ProQuest, and you are able to find those databases in that platform. Yeah, so that's number one. You know where to find your information, or if you go into your library portal, make sure you have enough material to support your research. Number two is, once you go into each of those databases, you need to understand what type of content do I have in this collection, and how is this content going to help me in my research stages of my research, or to support my research objective. That's the second thing that you need to understand. That after that, of course, you know your content. Third one is you need to apply some strategies. Okay, why you need to apply strategies? Because it doesn't work like Google. So I know most of us, we like to just put in the whole phrase or the question in the search box, and expect some return from the system and say, okay, we are expecting some results or some answer from that. No, but it doesn't work like that. It is not more like Google. So that's why, because it's built with a lot of unique sources, unique content. So it may not get results if you have a standard practice like what you do in Google. So you need to apply some strategies. That's what we're going to look at in a few minutes. Yeah. Now, evaluating the content is just you can evaluate using some, whether it's relevant to my research topic, in terms of whether it's, this content is authenticated content, whether this content is authoritative sources. All those information, you just have to do a quick evaluation. But most importantly, make sure it's actually comply to our social and cultural context. Yeah, so because it comes across the world, just make sure that it's complied to our social and cultural context. The next one is how do you want to organize this information? Whether you want to organize it, just download everything into your local drive and then organize it, putting into your folder later, is up to you. Or you want to put it into your citation management system immediately because you want to work on the bibliography information and do in citations and so on. And also another way is to park everything into the research folder. So you just say, okay, these are important content I want to explore later. So you just save it into your research account. So how you can organize, there are many ways. We're going to see that later. And also if you are working in a group, or if you are the instructor, if you're a lecturer, if you want to share some of the documents or even the searches, you can use the URL to share it. Or you want to share it with your team members. If you found some resources, you can share it through the URL as well. So we are going to see all that in a minute. So let's move on with search strategies. So I'm going to focus on the search strategies right now. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, here you go. Okay, so I think for some of you who would have attended my session, I always talk about these strategies. It's better to understand how the ProQuest platform reacts to your queries. Yeah, you need to understand that. So that's why this is very important. So usually when you come to this page, you already have, most likely you have two types of thoughts. Yeah, either one is this, you want to just find some information. Basically, you just want to get some ideas from this platform, or you are already like in doing in-depth research. Yeah, so you can be any research stage you are in. So whatever it is, you will have what you want to search for. Your search terms, you already mapped it. What you want to search for. So usually your search term maybe more than two words, or maybe more than 3 words or whatever, yeah, depending on your research topic. So when you add the whole phrase, you identify the key terms and you add those terms here, it will automatically read the terms in between. There will be always, it relates it with the N in between. So artificial intelligence, it will relate as artificial and intelligence. Yeah. But if you want it as a phrase, you make sure you put in a quotation mark. So that's what sometimes you get a huge number of results, but irrelevant to what you want. So make sure you put in a quotation mark to confine it as a phrase. Yeah. And the best part for ProQuest is it will automatically recognize the singular and plural nouns, the comparative and superlative adjectives, the spelling variances between the US and the British. These are automatically recognized. So you can skip it and say you don't have to worry about it. So you know that at the back of your mind, this will be automatically recognized. You skip on that. Okay, now the next one is use of Boolean operators and proximity operators. If you go for any literature skills classes, I'm sure this will be discussed in every of those classes. This is one way to find more targeted results, yeah, to apply some techniques to find targeted results. So here we have Boolean operator. So Boolean operators, you know, and, or, and not. So today we are going to focus more on or, because or helps you to expand your key terms, expand your research I would say perspective. So sometimes if you are looking at one particular term and you're very narrowed, you may skip or you might miss the important points that it's written in a different in the use of a different synonyms or different terms. So that's why you need to expand it. So how you want to expand it? First thing, you need to go for your thesaurus search. You know that use of technical terms, use of medical terms, use of related terms, and of course synonyms as well. So in this case, you know, indigenous, or it can be natural, or it can be organic, or it can be original, any other term. So you just want to make sure that you use the or to expand it. Okay, just take note of or here. And for proximity operators, you just take note of near slash n. Yeah, near slash n. It's like you want the two terms to be in the closer proximity. These two terms in the closer proximity. Which means usually it will fall within a sentence. So that means they are in context. That's how we assume. So how do we apply that? So in between every of the term, make sure you have near, or you can change it to a n here if you want to. If you don't want near in full, you can change it to n, and slash a number. So this is a number. You can replace it with 5, 10, 15. Always keep it below 20. Okay, we will see some example later, so you can understand how it works actually. So these two, something that you need to take note, very important. You may want to take note. And other than that, here is the asterisk. So like I said, these are content done by authors across the world. Yeah, so many contributors to the articles and etc. So how they would have put in the structured the sentence or in different contexts. So you may want to use the asterisk to find out all the other variances used in that particular article. So economy, so you find the root word, add in the asterisk, and it will find the rest of the variances as well. So that's how it works. We will go and look at it later in the real life example. Okay. Now, most of the ProQuest database, it is built in with the indexes as well as the advanced search fields. Yeah, most of it comes with the search field. that reflects on the content type that you have. So if you have more of journal articles, so it will reflect on the content type of journal article. If you have reports, then it will reflect on the reports that you have. If it's a dissertation and thesis, it reflects on the dissertation and thesis. So the most commonly used search fields are whatever that you see in this screen, in this screen. So very easy. If somebody have given you the references, go and look up for these scholarly journals as part of your reference. So it's very easy. Just come to the advanced search form, look up for document title and put in the whole article title or partial of the article title and see that you can find it here. That is the straightforward way to look up for information. Yeah, easy. The other one is most of the time it doesn't work that way. No one gives us the references. We need to find out ourselves. So we probably will look up for does ProQuest has articles that supports on leadership, discuss about leadership at the title level, or does it have any article that talks about leadership and talk about leadership transformation at the abstract level, something like that. So you can go and kind of set a criteria and look for those information easily, because it's all it comes with the search fields. Yeah, search fields is there. On top of that, it's also indexed. There are some additional lookup index that you can easily find information. We will see all that later in a minute. Just an example. So if you want to look up for articles where all the articles that talks about machine learning that appears at the abstracts, for instance, so you can find it such a way. Okay, now let's move on. Discover with basic search. I'm going to go into the dissertation and global database right now first and start with that, and then move on to other databases. Yeah, let's go into the live site. Okay, so earlier I have clicked from here, I have clicked on ProQuest Dissertation and Thesis, that is to Humanities and Social Science collection. So let's go in here. So what you can find within this collection, because it says there's dissertation and thesis, so you will find the master's thesis as well as the doctoral dissertation in this collection, and that these content they are come from across the world. Comes from top universities as well. Yeah, so you're going to see what you have and what it covers in terms of subject. It covers on humanities, social sciences as well. Okay, now how the technique of searching, just let's look at some example. Just give me a minute. I'm just looking for some examples that relevant to social science. Let's say if you want to look up for a topic on gender inequality, for instance, yeah, so you can either start it from here, or you can just, can go into the advanced search. So if you just want to look up for gender inequality, you just type in here, just because this is easy search, basic search, just type it here. So if you want it, gender inequality as a phrase, of course, you put in a phrase here. Okay. So you can see the differences in the results. If you don't put the phrase, and if you put a phrase, what happens? Okay. So this will give you all the relevant results that only talks about gender inequality. Yeah, it's all about gender inequality. All these are from the dissertation and thesis across the world. You can see that's from 1994 current, but the coverage of this is even more longer. But the discussion about gender inequality that you can find it here, it's from 1994, and subjects, and you can zoom into the subjects. Okay, so this is whether you are looking at it from just women in gender inequality, specifically looking at women, or you are looking at other areas within that. Okay. takes a little bit longer. So you can see that other areas within that you can talk about, whether it's education, you're talking about human rights, or is it some other topic that you want to explore it within that. Yeah. So this is just an example. I want to go into the advanced search because this is, it will give you more targeted results. So let's go into this. So let's see if you are again looking at topics like social emotional learning. Okay. So let's say you're talking about social emotional learning. Okay. Social emotional learning can be a phrase. So you can put it as a phrase. Yeah. Search by title, or if you want it to just discover, is there anything relevant to the just the type to the subject itself. So you can see these are very targeted because it will pull out only results that talks about social emotional learning that appears at the title level. But what is all this? These are basically all the dissertation and thesis that's from different universities. If you want to explore which university actually have high research on social emotional learning, you can just come down here to the institution. Okay, you can see Northeastern has got 6 dissertation and thesis on this topic. Similarly for Trevor Carr, I hope I pronounce it right. So you can actually explore which universities which actually have this discussion or this findings or the research on social emotional learning, and to find out what exactly they are expressing in their research. Yeah, so that's a different way how you can explore your research to see what example has been used in this research, which methodology have they applied in this research, and so on. So if you go into this details, so if you go to the first page of this dissertation and thesis, so okay. Okay, this is about leadership in terms of social emotional learning. So as you scroll down, then you will see, of course, very quickly you can see the abstract. Of course, you will read the abstract first before even you go into the chapters, the chapter 1 with the literature review and etc. And you can look at what kind of study design or methodology has been applied for this. And here is the some recommendations, or what are the this is still a data collection level, at the findings and the conclusion and the discussion and the recommendation. I think for you, if you want to start something with some similar topics on this, always explore here, this part here, and look up for those recommendation and see what are the gaps in this. So you can take it on as a further research. Yeah. So you can do this using dissertation and thesis because you have exposed to actual dissertation and thesis across the world. So if you want to be more specific, you can go to a specific subjects in this collection. Say, go back to the advanced search. So if you are looking at terms like cyberbullying, or if you are looking at skill gap, skill mismatch, job mismatch, and so on, you can also do the same type. So it depends on what type of research that you want to do. So you can apply it by, whether you want that term to appear at the document title, or you want that to be appearing at the abstract level, or at the or it can be at the main subject. So if you're going to look at subjects, so let's say if you want to see on research on indigenous, for example, indigenous people now. Or you don't have to put people, you basically say indigenous or native, or you can also say aboriginals. Okay. Spelling error, aboriginal, yep, that's right. Okay, so you want that to, because you just want to explore in the dissertation and thesis, is there any findings on indigenous, native, or aboriginal. People are basically, it's about people and their social challenges. Maybe you want to explore further, so you leave it as all subjects and indexing. Just leave it like this. Spelling error again. This is should be G. Okay, so let's do some more. I actually searched again. So now it's okay, no worries. It's basically you are looking at all these three options, either any one of that, or it can be any both of that. Yeah, so it's okay as long as it gives you the result that you have here. Quite a huge number of results that you have. So if you want to be more specific, you can either go into the subjects and say within that my main topic on indigenous or the native or aboriginal research topics. Maybe I want to go into looking at the cultural anthropology is what you want to focus on. So you can zoom into those subjects. But if you are looking at other than that, exploring, because you are exploring, right? So you may want to open up these subjects and say, okay, I want to look at it from other subjects as well. Hold on a second. Takes a bit longer time to load. Hold on a second. Okay, here. Okay. Yeah. So it depends on what, even if you have no idea, you just come to this page and you put in your broad topic, like, you know, my topic was just to look at indigenous studies. So basically, I just want to see what other subjects that I can explore instead of looking at just indigenous specifically. Just a minute, it takes a bit of time. Hold on a second. Okay, at the subject level, if you click more, it should open up the box with more subjects index. Okay, here you go. So either you are looking at cultural anthropology or ethnic studies or any other relevant studies with indigenous studies. Yeah, you can look at it later how you want to focus on. Then you not only have at the subject level, you do have it from the index terms. Index terms are more granular. These are more wider, broader. These are more granular. So you can again explore this through the index terms. Let's look at the index terms. So these are more like ethnics or based on specific indigenous community. So you can do that as well. Right. So that's one example. Another one, again, you can go back to the institution and see, okay, which institution actually talks or do a research, a lot of research on indigenous studies, or you can explore it later. You can see that the University of Arizona it does. So then you can see what are their findings like, what is their direction like in terms of talking about the indigenous community. Are they talking about the social issues? Is there a kind of improvement in last few years? Is there something that some legal rights they are implementing, all human rights they're implementing? All those information you can find it in this collection. Yeah? So it depends on what you want to do, and then you can make a comparison and looking at the gaps here. So this dissertation and thesis is very useful for you to look at it as an example of your research. On top of that, you can find the gaps. You can see the research and see the gap, and then you can zoom into those and work further on those research. Yeah, you can do so. Always read the abstract first. At the abstract level, there's always a findings, and there's always a suggestion, and say, this could have been done differently. Maybe the collections of data could have been done differently, or the sample may not be educated enough to support this research or something like that. So you can see that details in the abstract before you go into the detail, the abstracts and the table of content. Okay, now This is very easy, so I'm not going to go into detail a little bit more because we have three other databases to cover. So let's move on to look at the indexing. So here you have the lookup indexes. So the lookup indexes is very useful if you want to go into a subject. Like, let's say I want to go for a specific subject. Say if you want to look at cultural diversity. Let's just leave it like that, cultural diversity. Or you just leave it as cultural if you don't want to go specifically into cultural diversity. Then you get an idea what to move about. So you have so you can see cultural factors, cultural heritage, cultural identity. You know, if you want to zoom onto that, so there's lots of research done on cultural resource management and etc. So intercultural communication, cultural values. So these are some of examples of research that you can find it here. And of course, cultural anthropology is one of the highest research that's been done. So you just add to your search. Okay. Now, when you add to search, it's all included here. Then when you do a search, you can zoom into to the universities that you want to explore further. So you can see here sorry, just let me go back and clear the previous search. Okay, so if you want to start a new search, like look up for a subject here, make sure the previous search is always cleared using the clear form. What I did now is just doing clearing manually. So when you search now, it's a fresh search on cultural values, cultural anthropology, and so on. That is the subject level. So from here, you know that you have huge number of results. Again, you can go into the institution and see, I want to see some of these top universities, what is their research on their cultural anthropology, like what is their cultural research like. So you can come to this page, go back to the institution. Okay. Now you see if you want to go back specifically. So again, University of Chicago, what is that about? What about Harvard University? What is their research on cultural related research about? So all this, you get to access it easily and you see what is their direction, what is their findings, what are they looking for, what are their research solution, what are their recommendations and things like that. You will be able to find it from here easily. So, but the other way is you can also go directly and say, I want to look up for research done by these top universities. Okay. You just go back here and instead of going look up for subjects, now you clear the form, you look up for universities. So you can either go for looking at what are the research, you know. So then, of course, what you can do is you can do a quick mapping with your subject. In this subject, you want to look up for a specific university. So for now, I just want to show you how you can look up for universities. So either you want to go for search on Cambridge University or Oxford University or Harvard University. Yeah, these are the named universities that you want to look up for. So for instance, yeah. So you probably want to look up for the University of Oxford and see what is their research that's relevant to social sciences and arts and humanities. Yeah. Okay. I think I did not select it. Okay, go back again. Oxford University, just add to search. But I did, takes a bit longer. All right, now it's added. So you can just zoom in now and see, okay, what is the research done by these universities that's relevant to the humanities and social science collection. So how do you do that? This the other way, but now you're from the universities, you can look up for the subjects. Here are the subjects, yeah. Okay, so you do have the cultural anthropology here, or you're looking at others, classical studies, or some other studies if you're looking at some other research if you're looking at. Of course, you can explore it here, and you can go by looking at the institution itself. Now, you have collections, huge collections of dissertation and thesis. That's a combination of abstract as well as full text. So if you want to keep it only to full text, make sure that you just select the full text and you will get the full text here. So why you are probably asking why only abstracts? There's a reason. One, some of this older content way back long ago, you do not have it in full text, and also it's an option for the users to to opt it not to publish it in full. They probably just want to publish in abstract first. Eventually, they will publish it in full. So that is the reason you will find some in the abstract level and some in the full text level. Yeah, so that's how you will make sure that you find that right information if you want to read the entire full text. Now, abstract is useful to tell you that actually this research actually exists. These findings actually exist. Yeah, so that's how you will make use of this content. Number two is to also to go back to research. Let's go back to the advanced search. Okay, the other index, it depends how you want to maximize it. So you do have index by authors. Usually you may not know the authors, but now advisors could be very, very helpful, especially if you want to work or collaborate with a specific advisor. Maybe you want to look up for the name and go into looking at their research and see what is their direction like, what is their thoughts and the views on their findings. So you can work on by advisor. Index terms, like I said, these are more granular. Subject terms are more broader, more I would say, yeah, more broader, but in the index terms are more granular within that subjects. So usually when they submit their dissertation and thesis, they are required to give 6 different index terms that's relevant to their research. So one with maybe probably a few subjects, main subjects with the index terms as well. So just the reason is how to discover the content easily. And very importantly, to remember to read the abstracts. Yeah, so that's how you can maximize the use of dissertation and thesis, to look up for some examples, to look up for some gaps, to understand what type of methodology has been used, and to look up for how the top universities findings like, so you can apply some of the concepts here as well. So that's how you use this content individually. Yeah, individually. So if let's say if you want to move on and look at the content together with the other collections, so this collection, you only can find dissertation and thesis. But if you want other data, other format of information, then you need to go into the library gateway. So now you go to the arts and humanities database. So if you go to the arts and humanities database, you will probably now can do one search across multiple content. Hold on a second. Okay. So you can see this is your arts and humanities database. So if you go to the change database, okay, you have your arts and humanities together, and you can also combine it if you want to. Right? You can do that combination. Hold on a second here. One moment. Okay, let's go to this arts and humanities. Okay, So from here, right now, it is not included with the dissertation and thesis. So if you want to combine it, you can do so. You just come to this change database. You include this dissertation and thesis as part of the search. But I'm not including yet. I'm going to show you how it works by itself, Arts and Humanities database. So what you have in this collection, basically you have access to the scholarly journals, working papers, conference papers, some newspapers, and etc. And what subject does it cover? It covers on the arts, design, archaeology, anthropology, classical studies, and etc. So the search techniques is exactly the same like what we did earlier. Come back to this platform. Let's see. Let's let it drop down. So hold on, let it drop down. Okay, so you see that what you will find here, you will find the books, magazines, and other sources, scholarly journals, and trade journals. This is what you can find it within this collection. So if you combine this database with the dissertation and thesis, you will find the dissertation and thesis as well in this collection. Yeah. So again, the search techniques are the same. So go back to the search fields. You can find your document title. You can also find the publication title if you want to go for a specific publication. You can go by location as well and go by abstract and the subject heading. So if you are exploring something here, just basically you just want to explore around topics that's relevant to heritage, for example. Yeah, heritage. Yeah, just leave it as heritage. Just leave it as subject main headings. But I would suggest use the all subjects in indexing so that you can find it at the indexing level as well. So these are all heritage relevant results. How do you know it's relevant to heritage? You can either look at the subjects. If you're going to explore it here, always look up for the subjects here. Or you can go into the individual content. These are full text. You can go into the scholarly journals or any content. Look at the abstracts. Yeah. So the abstracts or even the abstract detail. Always read about the abstract very quickly, and also explore the abstracts from the how it is being tagged, so that you get an idea. Okay, you may not only focus on one area of this one perspective of this research, but you may want to look up for other perspective. So here the subject. So you probably talk about World Heritage areas. It talks about cultural heritage, or if you have looking at historic sites or districts and so on. So if you want to find information that's relevant to say historic sites or historic districts or any other, you can, from here, you can zoom to that topic. So you probably, some of it you have quite a bit of results, some of it may be lesser, like this one is historic site, you do have quite a bit of results. Now, very importantly, when you are at the Arts and Humanities database, your exposure is not only to dissertation and thesis or even just to scholarly journals, but you are able to access to other than more than beyond the scholarly journals. Yeah. Just a minute. Okay. So let's search. I want to just show you the type of content that you have access to. here. So you do have access to your scholarly journals, to magazines, to trade journals, and other sources. So if you want to click on this to see what other sources, you can obviously click on here and see what other sources. So these are the actually main 4 sources. So you do have, other than scholarly journals, you do have magazines or trade journals on this subject. If you have different subject, maybe you have different other content as well. So now I'm going to take you through how you can quickly evaluate this content. But before that, I'm going to take you to another database that is your education database. Let's go back to the education. So this is your education collection. Okay, so education collection, it's part of this part. It's already been tagged together with the dissertation and thesis, global humanities and social sciences collection that we saw earlier, together with education and ERIC collection, ERIC database. Yeah, so it's already been tagged together. So when you search it from here, these are basic search. We go back to your advanced search. So this because mainly on education related topics. So let's focus on education related search terms. So I'm going to take you through one example on basic search. Okay, so let's say you are looking at learning transformation. Yeah, right now it's a very highly discussed topic, learning transformation, and you are looking at specifically on the segment of higher education. So this is what your research topic, yeah, basically this is what you want to look up for. So it's learning transformation, higher education. You can just search like this. You definitely will find a lot of information, but that would be sometimes become irrelevant afterward, because like I said, it will read as learning and transformation and higher and education. As you go down, it will start picking up individually the search term individually, because looking at separating it by N, yeah. But what you will get, as long as all these terms are appearing in the articles, you will find it, but it may not be what you want exactly. So to be more precise, to be more target, make sure that you use your techniques that you have learned. So if you know that learning transformation is if you want to see that as a phrase, make sure you put it as a phrase. But if you want to see, just open up, you leave it as it is. But this time you said, okay, near 10 words. They must be talking about higher education. Okay, what are you looking at? So you're looking at learning transformation with a discussion about higher education together. So you now can do it this way. You will get much more lesser result. Okay, you see it's very specific, learning transformation, and that's relevant to higher education. There's only 58. That's very specific to what you want. But if you say that it can be also opened up as learning transformational, right? It can be transformational. You can also do this way, and so you can do a couple of times and see what is that suits you. Now you find a bit more results. You can find a lot more, huge number of results. The reason is you also looking at transformation, transformational, and etc. So up to you how you want to utilize this content. You can apply the techniques accordingly. But here it's talking about transformation, where there is the connection between the higher education. They are always in closer proximity of 10 words. Okay, you can see that. Okay, I'm going to take you to the advanced level. So at the advanced levels, let's say if you are looking at hybrid learning or blended learning and those kind of topics, so you can either put it as blended learning or hybrid learning. Okay, use the or to expand. So this one, you want it to be one phrase. Okay, the search term is all yours. What you want to search is your search term. So my suggestion is I want to put this at the title because I want this discussion at the title. And what I want to focus is how that has an impact to the student success or talking about their performance or talking about their response. Like, so these are things that you want to find out. So you want this to be also talked in the abstract. You want that discussion to appear at the abstract level. Sorry, this is title, and this one at the abstract level. Okay, so now blended learning or hybrid learning to appear at the title, but the discussion about success, performance, response, or any other terms, if you want to explain it, development or anything, you want that to be discussed at the abstract. So by doing so, you are like doing a combination of title and abstract to find this information. Okay, so remember this social science database earlier, it is a combination of the education database, which is with the scholarly journals as well as the trade journals and etc., together with the dissertation and thesis. So now your result sets are much more greater. It comes from the scholarly journals to books to dissertation to trade journals and etc. Okay, this is how it goes. There's some conference papers as well. So this is how you will now go into the advanced search and have criteria in your mind and find for the information. This is again, I would say, still very targeted. You can confine it and say look for full text. Once you have identified the right source scholarly journals that you want to look up for, you can do so. And another example, let me take you through one more round. Okay. The other search, the search terms are the same, yeah. So I don't want to keep taking you back to show you the same concept. But now if you notice, there are also thesaurus embedded in this system. So you can go into the thesaurus just to find out, because sometimes you are not sure what term that you want to use exactly. So for instance, if you want to go for peer evaluation, just as an example, yeah, peer evaluation. So you have your ERIC thesaurus embedded here, peer evaluation. So in peer evaluation, you probably want to find out a little bit more. Okay, you do have exact peer evaluation. You can select this and add to the explore or major to search it. But you probably want to zoom into peer evaluation. Just click on it. Let's click on it. Yes, it's the broader term is of course evaluation, but we are looking at peer evaluation specifically. Then you click on the notes. Just click on the notes. So you can say, okay, peer evaluation, are you looking at merit rating or peer influence, or you're looking at students evaluation or personal evaluation, or what is that you want to zoom into on that. So probably you want to look at merit rating and student evaluation. Just add it and you click OK here. And now there's two different things. Explode means you want, let's say if you have anything under the peer evaluation, you will explode it. But otherwise you can still click on explode. Yeah, but right now you don't have anything, it will not be included. Just go back here. Peer evaluation, you have selected, you also have selected the other related terms to peer evaluation. Okay, you have selected merit rating or student evaluation. Okay. So now you say, okay, I want to search all this because I was not sure earlier. Now I got some ideas. I can search it this way. Just add to your search. It will automatically add it to your search. Okay, just hold on. Takes a little bit longer time. It really takes a bit time. Okay, let it load. I will come back to this to show you later how it should work. Let it take some time. I'm going to move on to the next one is the computer science database. Okay, so again, the concepts, the search techniques, everything is the same, but just now what you have within the collection, the content is now relevant to computer science, information system, database design, web commerce, internet, and etc. These are very much confined to computer science relevant topics. So when you are in this database, you should look up for your research topics that's relevant to computer science database. Yeah, sorry, computer science terms. So let's say in this example, you want to look at from here, you want to see about research, your discussion about machine learning. Yeah? So just type in machine learning and to put it as a title at the title level. And you want, in the machine learning, you want to look at natural language to be discussed as well. Okay? Natural language, and here at the abstract level. You can do so, just quickly look up for. And what you will find all these blogs, books, conference papers, magazines, newspapers, scholarly journals, YFITs, and some reports as well. So let's just search it. Specific because it's titled on machine learning, talking about natural language. So you have about 115 results here. And these are all coming from different sources. So you can explore the source accordingly. So if you are in the very beginning of your search, you just want to decide on your topic. So explore the trade journals and the YFITs. But once you have decided on the topic, if you want to zoom into a certain part of those concepts, so you can pick up the terms and go into looking at journals, or you look up for if there is any working papers or conference papers, you can look up for that. Or if you have any, if you do have conference papers, you can do so. Yeah. Okay, so that's the same way. Computer science database can be applied the same way, and you can use the publication to search for a specific publication as well. So let's say if you want to look up for International Journal of Computer, let's see if you have that here. Okay. Okay. So you do have others as well, but probably you're looking for some specific International Journal of Computer, which is this. But you may also want to explore the rest where you have full coverage till now. Yeah, you can look up for those with the full coverage to now. Like these are all with the current coverage right now. This is Journal of Computer Mathematics, which this is still a citation, but look up for full text, yeah, if you want to explore it further. So let's say if you just want to explore one of this content, International Journal of Computer Science and Software Engineering. So you just go into this topic, this publication directly. Search within that publication. At the same time, you can also view the current issues. This is the 2020 issues. We do have, if there's a discussion about like big data analytics, yeah. Just go into it and explore it. This is just like exploring the other content. Okay, very importantly, just take note that you can copy this URL and share it into your learning management system, or share it to your team members and say, let's explore this publication and to support our research or something like that. Okay, so what we have done so far, we have gone into different databases to find the right information by applying the search techniques that we know, right? The search term is yours. You know what you want to look up for. You know what the terms to use. But how do you want to use the terms to find the right information is what we saw earlier. Yeah, use some of the search fields, the index fields. Use the combination of characters ORs and OR and. Yeah, sometimes you can say like this. I want the machine learning to appear at the title, at the same time also at the abstract. So it's either in the, no, not at the same time, either in the title or at the abstract. If you want it at the same time, then it has to be appear at the title as well as the abstract, something like that. So you can use the combination. You can add on more terms here. You can say this one, I want to be also a part of this particular subject called artificial intelligence, something like that. So like you can use any of these collection combinations with the combination of operators here. And of course, we have explored the thesaurus and so on. So what we have done is to explore individual database and explore the search techniques using some of the search fields, the index to find the right information. So now I'm going to take you back to the okay, let's keep it to the arts and humanities, any of this database. So when you are at the results set here, so let's say you are looking for content only that's last 20 years content, because the previous one is not much and also may not be relevant. So you can confine it by publication date. And you can also say, I want to look up for only full text. If I want to just confine it such a way, put it full text, and you can save this search. Now you already found this information and you can just save the searches here. Okay, how do you save that? You basically go to your save search and click on save search. The moment you click on save search, you are customizing your search, yeah, because you're customizing your search. So you need to enter your my research account access. So you will ask you to log into the research account. So I think some of you may already have the research account. If you don't have, you basically just create one set. Just create one. Very easy to create. Basically create with the email address and confirm the password and just create one account. The moment you create it, you can use it immediately. So just sign in with your created account. Yeah. So because I can't sign into your account because this is a personalized account, I will use my own ID here. Example, as an example. Okay, I will use this. This is mine. Here is my database, the whole database with me. Okay, so I can go into this research, let's say. So my search on skill gap again, skill gap or job mismatch. Okay, I can do a quick quotation mark to just find the exact term. Otherwise, I can leave it like this. It's just an example. Do I want this to appear at the title, for example? Because I'm using my whole database. Yeah, my results might be slightly different. Hold on a second. Okay, I have more results, of course. So let's say I want to look up for last 10 years content only. And I want to save this. So when I save this, I will be prompted to add basically your access. So I'm using mine here. Sign in. Okay, so I can just save this and call this as a skill mismatch, skill gap related search. Yeah, just name this for your references purpose. So once you have saved it, it is now saved into the into my research folder. I can also say, okay, I want to save this information into my folders. Okay, quickly go to the folder and add this in, save to the folder. Okay. So what happens now? Just assume that if I have evaluated this content, I know this is relevant to me, and I want to move this into my folder, and I want to save this the searches so that I can reevaluate further as I go on. When I have time, I can come back and reevaluate. So how do I go back to find this information? Just go back to your My Research account. Just go to the Save Searches. Okay, you find that I have added this into my document. Yeah, these are the two documents that I just added just now. And the searches that I've saved should be here. Here is my search that I saved. So I have, I can now, instead of me coming back and redo the search again and again, let's assume I have already evaluated, I find the right information for now. What I want is I want to stay updated with the future updates. So you can create an alert here. Basically just create an alert. and name this as a skill gap or skill mismatch or whatever. Is for your own references. Add in the optional email if you want to add more, and of course you can create the alerts and schedule it when you want the frequency of the alert. Yeah, so whether you want weekly or you want monthly, and how long you want the system to alert you. So once you have created the alert, basically it will be all stored here. And what it does is it will run the search accordingly to your whatever that search term or how you have refined it accordingly. And if it finds any information that's relevant to the search term that you have entered, then it will send you an email and say, okay, I found some relevant information. Do you want to explore something like that? Then you can log in and explore it. So you kind of like keep yourself updated, keep yourself abreast with the development of your research subsequently after you even complete. So you know that research, doesn't work. I complete my research only then I start writing. It doesn't work that way. So in the process of your research is usually your research. It's the research and the writing is kind of go back and forth. So you are doing a research, you are writing, find a gap, find the information that missing, go back to research, that kind of thing. So it will never like I complete this process, only I go to the next process. So it works together. So that's why you need to keep yourself always updated with a new development of your research. So by the 2 months, you probably have another new different perspective or different views. So you can enter that as well. You can take that as your views as well. Okay, now the last part is how do I extract this information from here? Now I'm just saving into my folder, but how do I take it out, extract it from this platform or retrieve it in this platform? Just go back to the searches. Just go back to searches. You can do it from your account as well. Okay, let's from here. So always look up, let's say if you want to download this is something you want to download, just go to that particular topic directly or the articles directly. Yeah, it can be articles, can be any documents. Then you can either download from here directly, or you have other options. So other options are like if you want to email it, or if you want to download into your if you want to download and save it into your Google Cloud saving options or to your citation management system. Yeah, so you can download it here. So you can quick cite, email, print. You know how to edit to your folders as well. And here you go, another option, cloud saving, either to Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive. Now, those who are doing very extensive research, I'm sure you already have your own citation management system. So if you have your own citation management system, apart from RefWorks, Noodle Tools, or EasyBeep, you can export it to the RIS, and from your citation management system, just import it to your citation management system. And you use that this information for your bibliography information, your references, or you do insight citations and other options. Yeah, use it for your references purposes. It's easy to do that way. So I hope you are clear about that. If you already have RefWorks, then it's easy. It will automatically move into your RefWorks directly. Okay, I have covered all the important points from 4 different databases. I hope you know what I'm trying to say here. Basically, it's the concepts, what I've showed you. How you want to utilize these techniques is up to you by using your own search terms accordingly to the subjects, databases that you have. So if you are using computer science, make sure that you confine your research relevant to the computer science. If you're using your education related, then you specifically focus on education, and arts and humanities, or you can focus on others as well. I mean, arts and humanities related topic. Okay, Any questions so far? We have covered all. I thought of doing some assignments, assessment, but I think today is Friday evening, so I may not want to continue with that. If you have any question, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, make sure that you explore the dissertation and thesis database. That's very, very important. Actually, there's lots of information there for you to look up for example of your research here. Yeah. Any other questions that you have? If you don't have, I'm going to share with you some of these sites where you can explore further to read if you want to. Just let me share it here. And also my post-webinar survey link here. Yeah? Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, this is definitely very, very helpful if you are started your research topic or you're working on a research topic or you're exploring a research topic. Definitely will be very, very helpful. I'm sure you've heard from your lecturers, for your instructors, to have access to the authoritative sources to support your research arguments. So this is where you come to. Okay, I've just shared the post webinar link, survey link. So please share your feedback as well. So if you don't have a question, I think we can end our session. It's Friday evening, so I'm sure you have your own plans. Thank you so much, Ms. Liana, for organizing this session. And thank you everyone for your time. Yeah, 1.5 hours. Yeah, we have spent quite a bit of time here. So take care and have a good evening and good weekend. Liana, over to you right now.
So we will end up our session. And actually, we have another one session after this by this week regarding on online ebook, oral ebook, and also the ebook central. Ebook central.
Ebook central. Yes, yes,
exactly. So I hope all of you can join the session.
Yep. So if you have time next week, we will see you all next week. That's more on how you can utilize the ebook central books and the O'Reilly books, which is relevant to IT as well as business related topics. Yeah. So we see you all next week. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.